Hey XRP holders, we're going to make all the changes this week and then we'll know where we're headed. Greetings, lovely individuals. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Shalom, money creators. Happy Sunday. Since time is limited and there is a lot to discuss, we will dive right in. As of right now, XRP is down $2.17 or 0.63 for the day, 0.63% for the day. The entire cryptocurrency market is somewhat down overall. As you can see, Bitcoin has somewhat retreated over the last 2 trading days after hitting the resistance level of 95,700, but there may still be a gap, right? After Friday, it will be fascinating to watch if the futures will continue into Monday. Will there be an upward or downward gap and what might occur there? Up here, we did have a gap that hasn't closed, thus there was an increase, and Bitcoin has a history of closing gaps. Therefore, we still have a chance to close this distance. Every single gap that Bitcoin has had since around a year and a half ago is always being filled, whether it is today or tomorrow. You recall that I was worried that they would close, even this gap. Eventually it closed. We shall see. Let's see. I hope soon rather than 6 months from now when the market is reversing or whatever. However, it will be interesting to observe how the market responds to the major events and to this new week. I'll also go into why it's crucial for the cryptocurrency market. People will tell you that you're lucky, don't they? The good news is that you're working while everyone else is sleeping. Being successful in the cryptocurrency market is not simple. Being successful in life is often difficult. While some people are fortunate, the majority of us must work really hard to succeed in life. Therefore, there is a good chance that you will succeed if you are like this guy. It's crucial to keep that in mind, isn't it? However, what major events are taking place this week? With around 40% of the S&P 500 expected to report, next week is the busiest earnings season. The findings from Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple will be the main emphasis on Wednesday and Thursday. What makes this so crucial? Oh, well, you say, why is it so crucial for the cryptocurrency market, Avi? We're going to have these earning results, which is why it's so crucial. And what will occur is that the CEOs will do more than just make earnings calls or remarks. Well, we are in a good situation / we are not in a good situation, they will say. We're not suffering because we're afraid of tariffs, are we, within the upcoming half year? The US government may come out and change its policies or even reverse them in response to these large corporations that may be having issues. If the first option is correct and they are stating that we are in a really dangerous situation, and if it's more than one, say, okay, it's one, but say if 10 or 15 of the top S&P 500 firms say during their earnings call that the tariffs are causing a whole rule scenario, there's a greater chance that Trump will say, okay, let's pull things back. There is no compelling reason for Trump to reduce his tariffs. If they are claiming that everything is fine and fantastic, let's work out a deal, shall we? And if so, let's work out a deal. Else, this might take a little longer. We may see a quicker reduction in tariffs if the earnings forecasts are extremely poor. We have also witnessed the extent to which the tariffs have impacted the cryptocurrency market in XRP. Since the entire tariff news went into force, XRP has been declining. As you can see, we experienced several wild days this week where XRP sharply declined, and overall we've been down from the top on January 20th. I apologize, January 20th was the peak for Bitcoin, but January 16th was the peak for XRP. However, the majority of the assets, including SWI and SOL, peaked within that 4 or 5 day period. I'm referring to the local peak of practically every cryptocurrency. It's interesting to note that Ethereum peaked on December 16. As intriguing then, I'm going to keep an eye on Ethereum to see if there'll be a crossover on the 1348 EMA anytime soon. And that can be a sign of bullishness. XRP is on the verge of doing what Bitcoin did. Thus, this may be and another extremely positive indication for XRP. We'll keep an eye on and monitor it. That will therefore be crucial for the cryptocurrency market. Despite being a stock market issue, Trump's actions may have an impact, which in turn may have an impact on the cryptocurrency market. The amount of Bitcoin that is available is decreasing, isn't that right? This is something we've never seen before. There has never been a global shortage of Bitcoin when the quantity of coins on the market has rapidly decreased. There are 2 circumstances for you. It's true that there are people buying Bitcoin, both large Corporations and exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are currently buying Bitcoin. Thus, the combination of these factors is causing them to buy, and then remove from exchanges. As a result, the amount of Bitcoin you hold on the exchange is really small. As of right now, it won't lead to a situation where nothing remains. Nevertheless, if this keeps happening, the halving will occur every 4 years, and less Bitcoin will enter the market. Eventually, this will lead to a situation where there isn't much Bitcoin left on the exchanges, and there will be competition for the remaining Bitcoin, which could raise the price. Once more, this is conjecture. Although we're not positive, it should theoretically raise the price, correct? Not financial advice, of course. Before choosing to invest, I was conducting my own research, correct? I have no idea what tomorrow, today, or the following day will bring. Thus, I will never advise you to buy this other to hold. Additionally, both in the short and long term, the market is highly volatile. Once more, 5, 10, or 20 years from now, I am extremely optimistic about the cryptocurrency sector, particularly in light of the incoming administration's changes. Bears must exercise extreme caution while attempting to drive Bitcoin below 95,000. If they don't close the $1,000 difference this weekend, it will act as a launch pad for a rally back over 100,000 the following week. Bears are on the verge of going bankrupt. Thus, once more, the algorithms will examine and influence the futures. Therefore, we must take that into account. The secret component of US cryptocurrency dominance over China is XRP. This hypothesis about XRP being an American-made cryptocurrency is intriguing. Furthermore, I believe that XRP may be one of the instruments that gives the US an advantage over China in the event that the US and China engage in a Cold War over the cryptocurrency market in the future, because subsequent administrations benefit cryptocurrency in the US if Trump leaves office. There have been discussions concerning cryptocurrency manufactured in the United States, income tax exemptions, and other similar issues. There may then be a scenario in which the US holds a significant portion of XRP and China may obtain a significant amount of Bitcoin, but the US is also receiving a significant amount of Bitcoin. Therefore, the US may have an advantage over China if there is a shift for XRP and it is 2 or 3 on the market. Capitalizations, correct? Very crucial to keep in mind. Additionally, this is an intriguing anecdote. I don't show this to the bears and flip-floppers. In less than 8 weeks, XPX fell 20%, and in less than 4 weeks, it did not rise beyond 14%. Only occurred once before. I take it that was the COVID reversal. It was extremely similar to the market's huge decline and subsequent pullback, which we have discussed extensively over the past few weeks. I described how a similar situation occurred in 2018, and if you recall, I recently met a person who was discussing how his portfolio had dropped 40%. He wanted to sell everything because he'd only made an investment 6 months prior. I never saw him again after that, but I'd been looking for a long time after he told me that it's not. All right, the short narrative, the short story, the long story, you might not want to do that, I told him when he wanted to sell. The market then took off, the market went crazy, so we're seeing it again, reached the support level precisely, is currently rebounding, and the cryptocurrency has already returned to its greedy state. The stock market's anxiety is lessening, as a result, things are looking much better right now. Correct. However, I mentioned last night that I'm still a little bit open-minded because there are still a lot of possible outcomes yet. Correct. Therefore, simply keep that in mind. Additionally, there is a significant amount of XRP in circulation. In a day, 838 million XRP. Prominence of the market rebound following a believable uptick in on-chain activity. Once more, XRP has demonstrated significant market potential. In a single day, more than 383 million XRP tokens were moved between accounts. A notable rise in network traffic. Once more, network traffic spikes do not always indicate price increases. However, I believe that XRP will fare better when the network is busier, but this does not guarantee price increases. We will also occasionally discuss open interest. They are discussing on-chain action here. The quantity of futures that are opened up on XRP is known as open interest. However, in this context, on-chain activity is being discussed. Therefore, the truth is that I'm at a loss for words when it comes